Hey Changemaker! Welcome to Learning for Good, the only podcast that teaches nonprofit leaders how to leverage training to drive performance, improve capacity, and fuel their mission impact. Do you ever feel like your nonprofit is growing, but your people just aren't keeping up? Or like you're fixing the same problems over and over? Do you wonder how to build confident, capable staff who know how to lead, not just execute? If we haven't met yet, I'm Heather, and I know how hard it can feel to get people to do what's expected of them. Trust me, I have 3 kids. I've tried telling people what to do and how. I've tried the traditional training approaches, and I realized that just doesn't work. And that's when I started researching what does work. Now, I help mission-driven leaders use learning to drive performance, build capacity, and make change that lasts. And I'm sharing it all on this podcast. So block your calendar, turn off your Teams or Slack chat, and let's dive in. It's Learning for Good. Hey friend, today I want to have a heart-to-heart with you. Not a typical podcast episode, but a love letter of sorts. Imagine that we're sitting down for coffee, just me and you, because I see you and I hear you. I talk to nonprofit learning and development professionals every day. I know how much you care about the work you do. You want to be seen for the creative problem solver you are. You want to be seen as a partner in the organization's mission. You want your work to have an impact. And sometimes those things are clear. People approach you as a partner. You have the freedom and autonomy to create the best solutions. Your impact is visible to you and to others. But sometimes those things are not as clear. Someone is suddenly demanding training and won't listen to any other suggestions. And they want it right away because that's what AI would do. They don't care about anything but completions and won't allow you to measure anything more. And those days are hard. Those projects are hard. Here's what I want you to know. That is not a you issue. It is not a personal failure. It is a symptom of a larger problem. Unclear expectations, overloaded roles, a time and capacity crunch. All of these things impact how people approach us. So what do? Yes, we can celebrate when things go well, and we should, but how do we navigate it when things are challenging? First, I want to encourage you to own your identity and the narrative around your work. I've done a couple of episodes around personal branding, and I can include those in the show notes, but I want you to own it. You are a leader. You are a change agent. Yes, sometimes you may be treated like a training factory, but it's important to not let that narrative impact your identity. You are a change agent. If you don't believe it, no one else will either. So repeat after me. My work influences outcomes. I don't need permission to lead. I am a leader and a change agent. Say it out loud, write it down each morning, add it to a sticky note, and stick it to your computer. We need reminders. We all do. You are a change agent. Own the identity, own the narrative around it. The other thing I want to encourage you to do is to communicate with influence. When someone comes to you overwhelmed, it's easy to take on their emotions. But you don't have to be overwhelmed with them. You can take control of the conversation. You can jump into the driver's seat. You just have to communicate with influence. Ask questions, uncover their needs, find out what's driving those needs, and connect your work to that. They're overwhelmed because they have 10,000 kids that they need to reach with their program in 6 months. Connect to that. Wow, that's going to have such a huge impact on those kids. Have you done anything at this scale before? How did it go? Tell me the story. What happened? Or maybe they have to reach 5,000 volunteers with a new process. Connect to that. How do you typically communicate with volunteers? What's worked? What's been challenging about it? Tell me the story. Use your conversation to understand what's really going on. And then use their words, their needs, their concerns to build a case for what you need. This isn't manipulative because giving you what you need gives them what they need. You need more time? Explain how giving you more time will actually help them have a bigger impact. You need to offer a different solution? Share how that solution will help them reach people more quickly or more easily or with more clarity or whatever it is they are looking for. Don't take on their emotion. Understand it. Connect with it. Empathize. But then connect what they want, what they need, what's driving them. Connect it to what you need in order to help them. That's influence. Now, the third thing I need you to do is to design for impact. And you probably are already thinking this way in a lot of ways, right? You're thinking about how can we move the needle? How can we do more than just put people in seats for training? You're thinking this way. Training alone rarely fixes a problem, and you know that. There will be stakeholders who continue to demand the same talking head training they've used for years. And no matter how hard you try, you can't convince them otherwise. It happens. It happens. It's frustrating. I call this a yes and situation. No matter what I design, I am designing for impact. If I know people need a job aid and this stakeholder will not back away from training, I create the best possible training using good learning design and behavior change principles, and I add that job aid. You can do this too. If you absolutely cannot sell them on the best solution you know to offer, ask yourself, how can I give them what they want and what they need? And then measure it. Prove the impact. You may never convince this one stakeholder, but that data goes with you to the next relationship, to the next conversation. And you can prove how your work creates impact, which reinforces your identity as a change agent and gives you stories and data to use as you communicate with influence. It is a never-ending cycle. And it's how you show up as a change agent without overwhelm, without frustration, and without burnout. I'll see you next time on Learning for Good.
Hey friend, was this episode helpful for you? Did you like what you heard? Do you want more content like this? Here are 3 things you can do. Hit subscribe, leave a review on Apple Podcasts or your podcast app of choice, share this episode with a colleague. This means so much to me personally. I read every review, but it also helps me learn what content you like most so I can create more of what you want. All right, turn that Teams or Slack chat back on when you're ready, and I'll see you next time on Learning for Good.